morning. How is everybody? It's Brandis coming to you live because I wanted to talk about this yesterday and then whatever, life happened. So I'm going to give it a few minutes. I probably hit right in the middle of dinner time. But that's okay. That's totally okay. I don't think this is going to be like a long one, but as it's titled, Lead with Love, because there's some stuff that's been going on in my head, and I think it needs to be addressed. So I'm gonna talk about that. So anyway, there's a lot of negative news out there. Has been for months, and it's really upsetting. Like, I am not the extremist type to like defriend people because of their political beliefs. I can hide shit. I can actually stay off of Facebook. Things like that. There's different practices, and there's such an extremism, especially with what's going on, where we are pulling each other apart instead of pulling each other together. And while I was at the training in New York with Gabby, she had a speaker there. Her name is Raw Goddess, and she was absolutely amazing. And she, handled a topic matter with such grace. It was really wonderful. But the point of the matter was this same thing of like, she got really upset with like everything that was going on towards the end of last year with the election and everything, because we were just at each other's throats, is what she said. And she's completely correct. What I see now even is, there was a shooting in DC. There was that attack in London. And that's really scary. And, when I was in New York, Gabby did take a moment to have us all hold in prayer for what happened in London. And I think it's really important because I think if you're human at all, you notice that in times of tragedy like that, and go back and look at all of the tragedies that occur, we all come together for one another, right? When someone shares something about a loss, we rally around that person. When there is an attack in London or here at home, we just came up on the anniversary of the Pulse shooting in Orlando, which is 2.5 hours, north, give or take. There's a rally around to come out with an outpouring of love. And the point I'm trying to make is that we should be leading with love on a regular basis, not just in times of tragedy, because we can. It's really that simple, because we can. Every day you can wake up and make a decision to lead with love. Has absolutely nothing to do with your position, who you are, where you live, what your background is. Love transcends all of that. And so when we, as I've been taught, when we are not coming from a place of love, we are coming from a place of fear, and that's what kind of keeps us in a story or, in an attack. And a lot of times we attack people out of the fear of not getting something we want or losing something we have. And there's lots of fun acronyms for fear, F everything and run, that sort of thing. But my favorite is false evidence appearing real. And that's really what fear is. Fear is nothing more than false evidence appearing real because of a story that we tell ourselves. And so, hey Elizabeth, how are you? So I really was deeply disturbed with what happened in DC. I'm deeply disturbed by what happened in London. I'm deeply disturbed by, the anniversary of the attacks in Orlando, and the ones that continue to occur that have us living in such a state of fear that it is hard to come from a place of love. But that's really why, like, I wanted to jump on here, because you have that gift. You have that ability to make that decision on a daily basis to operate from a place of love as opposed to a place of fear, like, no matter who you are. And sometimes it's just as simple as being nice to somebody, because you never know what inner battle that person is fighting. We are all fighting our own battle. Lord knows I have, like, quite a few of my own. And if I can take the focus off of myself for a moment and, you know, pay that attention to someone else, then who knows, like, how that person's day might be shifted. You don't know that impact you're going to have. And so I really think that, I know for a long time I didn't think that I could make a difference or make an impact or lead from a place of love, because who am I to do that, or because I have to be a certain way because of a certain environment, or I have to be this person, you know, because I'm at work. And that shit's exhausting, by the way. Just so you know, it's exhausting. And I think a lot of times we get wrapped up in, like, the rat race, or what we're gonna get, or again, like, going back to that, we're gonna lose something we want, or not, you know, lose something we have, or not get something we want, and that just forces us to, that keeps us separate instead of bringing us together. And so I really think it's important that, you know, no matter where you are or what you're doing, coming from a place of love is always the right answer. And you know what? You may not be met back with that. That's not the important part. The important part is what you do and how you operate. It's not the reaction of the other person. I had an interesting experience on that note. Last night, I went to apologize to someone for something that had happened a couple of years ago. And they brought to my attention that I had not made an amends for this wrong that occurred. And so I took the opportunity to own up to my part in that, to acknowledge that I had been wrong. And I said that I was sorry. And I said that, you know, I hope you accept my apology. I'm sorry that I hurt you, because that was wrong. And you know what their response was? They didn't accept my apology. We continued talking, oddly enough, but they didn't accept my apology, and that's okay. Because I came from a place of love, and I came from a place of truth, and I came from a place of being sincerely sorry for hurting that other person. It is not they don't have to accept that apology. That is totally up to them, and that is totally in their purview. I can't do anything about that. All I can do is control my part in that. And so I made that amends to that person. They didn't accept it, but you know what? Like, my side of the street is clean. And let me just tell you how much lighter I feel today as a result, regardless of what that outcome was. So I think it's really important to remember that leading from a place of love never, ever, ever is the wrong move to make. And sometimes it can feel weird, and sometimes it can feel awkward, and sometimes you might be like, what the hell am I doing? But it doesn't matter. Because in that moment, like, accepting my apology or not, love was the primary emotion. And it's funny because I've had this come up like a couple of times in the last, I would say, like 2 or 3 weeks. Particularly, I'm working on a forgiveness meditation for 90 days. And I think this is all a result of that. And so I think the more that you forgive and you are willing to go in and look at your part in things, or why things are operating a certain way, and what you can do to change that, and how you can change the conversation wherever you are, like, those things will start to come to fruition. Things will start to happen. And I wouldn't believe it if it wasn't happening to me. So people have shown up recently that I either owed, you know, an amends to, or think, you know, you ever have like a friend you just ghost on each other? Like, you just, like, nothing really tragic happened, but you just kind of fall apart. I've had that happen, and I've had an opportunity to reconnect with people. and just kind of like really clean up the energy and clean up the cosmic stuff that's going on. And that sounded very woo-woo, but like it really is like cleaning up my side of the street and clearing out old stale stuff so that new stuff can come in. And so I just wanted to pop on real quick because, you know, the stuff going on in the world has really been bothering me. You know, there's a lot of tragedy. There's a lot of, like, oh my God, what else? The United Airlines situation, dragging people off of airplanes. I mean, there's been just a lot of, I am so woo-woo. Girl, and I am owning my woo-woo. No more hiding the woo-woo. I'm about, listen, I'm spiritual with a little bit of thug in me, okay? Like, there's a meme going around, and it fits me perfectly, because I'm woo-woo one minute, and I will, like, tell you what's going on the next. But anyway, all kidding aside, there's been a lot of just anger. Just a lot of anger. There's a lot of anger, and there's a lot of fear, and there's a lot of just nastiness going around, like, globally. Girl, that's why you're my soul sister. I'm telling you right now. That's why I love you so much. So there's just a lot of tearing each other apart, lashing out. Social media is great for that because you can just send a comment into the great abyss of the internet. There are real people on the other end of those devices. Just keep that in mind. And so I'm actually working on a list of random acts of kindness that I'll be sharing shortly. But the one that I want to leave you all with today is the next time you are tempted to leave a negative comment, hey Nancy, the next time you are tempted to leave a negative comment, I implore you not to. Instead, if you can find it in you, I ask that you comment something positive. And if you can't, go back to kindergarten and keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything at all. If you have nothing nice to say, zip it. Because at the end of the day, like, why, hey girl, why are you really like commenting negatively? Why are you putting that out there? What is that going to solve? Absolutely nothing. Are you going to sleep better? Probably not. You might think that you are. You might think that you need to like make your, you know, and I'm not saying don't share your opinion. That's not what I'm saying at all. But perhaps like think about how you can reframe your opinion. You know, is it coming from a place of kindness and actual like wanting to help? Or is it coming from a place of like you just want to be you just like need to like let your voice be known, or you like want to get into some sort of social media conflict with somebody? Guilty, by the way. I am guilty. Yes, don't be ugly about it, Nancy. I agree. I am guilty, by the way, of inserting myself in social media conversations that I had no business being in, and I really had to sit there and ask myself about why I did that. Like, was I bored that day? Did I need something to talk about? I assure you, there are other ways I could have gone about my day. And so I shared that lesson with you because it was a lesson for me. And so I really just invite you to lead with love. I invite you to the next time that you have an opportunity to be kind to somebody or show somebody a little bit of love that they may not be getting. And I say this all the time. It could be the barista at Starbucks. It could be the server, at lunch. It could be like the janitor that you walk by that nobody ever pays attention to, by the way. Like, give them a little love and give them a little thanks and give them a little appreciation. And I guarantee you, here's what happens. When you lead with love, not only do you feel better, but you impact the person that you showed that love and kindness to. And then maybe that inspires them to go on and be loving and kind to somebody else. You just never know. But it's never a bad idea to plant the seed of love. So I invite you to do that. And I just, like I said, I wanted to jump on because the world events have just really, they've just really been getting me to think. And I may be a very, very small fish in my little pond. And I may not be able to solve the world's problems. I'm certainly not trying to. But in my little sphere, I can be the voice of love, and I can, go out with that and be that voice as opposed to the angry one. that is shouting to see who shouts the loudest. So that's all I got. I appreciate you all being here. If you're catching the replay, let me know. And I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great night. Bye.